Yeah, it's going. Yeah, it's good. Nice.
This is my car, Bigfoot.
With a different body that's been put on it, right?
Yep.
Whoa, man, that thing moves. Take it easy. You don't have to run after it. You can just drive. Nice. Made it. Nice. Watch it. You're in the mud. Watch this. This is cool about this car. You can go through all this nasty stuff, no problem.
With Bigfoot also?
Probably. The tires aren't quite as big, but it's still a monster truck. So this is the Super Clodbuster. I just got as a lovely gift from my lovely wife on Valentine's Day. And my son David there got a Traxxas Bigfoot. We got to go into Hobbytown, gift cards in hand, and pick out what we wanted. It was awesome.
You bet.
And I figured I might make a video on this thing, building it, or various stages along the way. I'm guessing we'll just start with the stock motors. No need to go nuts. All right, let's get it open. There it is. These tires are monstrous. If you look at my hand, got a nice polycarbonate body. We've got some paint for that. I think it's going to be yellow. And look at these wheels. They look great. Dave was trying to figure out what to do with the Traxxas car chargers that they always give you, which are useless to a lot of people. We need to start giving an AC adapter for those. But anyway, oh my goodness, this is only 2 wheels. They're that wide. Holy cow. Oh yes, lots of building ahead. I always wanted one of these when I was younger. Way out of the price range. I don't think we got a very exceptional deal on this or anything, but they had it up there. Anyway, we finally grew some sense, and for this build I'm actually splitting out the parts into their own compartments. You can get one of these, like, just buy a set of bolts, or these are wire crimps off Amazon or whatever. I've had a few empties of these guys. All right, perfect for splitting out the hardware. Got a Spectrum servo here, nothing fancy, but should get the job done. Got our Dean's connector on there. I am not the greatest solderer, but hey, it'll work. It always does. So let's go ahead and get this all hooked up. Got a Futaba receiver here to go with my decent radio. Been using junk like Fly Skies for quite a while. Finally decided to spring for a decent multi-model transmitter. It's a 10 model storage. And what else? We've got our servo. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this hooked up. So you'd be waiting all day if I was gonna set all that up on camera, because this receiver, it turns out, does not even light up or do anything until you've actually bound it. Like, no flashing light, no indication it's getting power. Meanwhile, my ESC was going nuts because there was no bound ESC detected. I assume, because as soon as I finally bound this up, which I had to read up on to realize it wasn't a dud, it was actually on, and just doesn't show any lights or LEDs or anything until it's bound. Tried to bind it by holding down the button. Of course, there's no indication anything's happening. And ESC was still going nuts. Nothing changed. Happened to turn off my receiver or transmitter and turn it back on, which I should have thought of earlier. But of course, then the binding completed, and all of a sudden the light came on the receiver, and the ESC shut up. And as you can see, we have power. So I'm going to disconnect all this, and well, the initial idea in the instructions is to make sure your servo is at dead center. So most of this will be disconnected, I assume. But anyway, I'm going to get set up and move on to the next step. So step 1 complete. Well, 2 actually, after all that setup. We got our servo. Got this nice little balls up there. It's nice hardware with this kit. Yeah, got this bag here full of like brass looking stuff. Alright, next step. Looks like a bunch of linkages. There's some solder. Like I said, I'm not very good. So looks like we're gonna hook up all those linkages next. To take a break, this was just kind of get everything set up and seeing if we wanted to do a few steps, which we did. So I got the servo here with a couple parts on it, and the rods here. Had to make sure I had the right length rods, because there are 4 total in the kit like this, but 2 are slightly shorter. You want the 2 longer ones, 140 millimeters. And then here is the chassis, and we had to put these balls in there. Yeah, so far so good. We got a new parts bin opened up and labeled. Definitely makes life easier having that. We'll continue tomorrow sometime. Continuing on here, we've got the gearbox halves and the axles all done. Let's see. Yeah, it's got plastic bushings in it. They work. Not quite as good as bearings, but they do last. Alright, I've kind of skipped ahead a bit. Forgot to record, not much. But I just wanted to mention this panel here and the metal panel that goes underneath that servo there. Make sure you put those on the right way. If you do not, then you will not be able to screw in the servo. And I had to take them both off and put them on the right way. Besides that, I've got the chassis set aside for now, because I am starting on the axles here. So you can see here, there's one that's finished. I have to make number 2 of each. This is the long. You got a long and a short. You can tell the difference by the end of the shaft there. Got those E-clips on the end. Not too hard to build so far. I like it. Like most Tamiya kits. So I'm going to do these 2 and then flip the page and see what's next. Alright, so we've got both gearboxes built here. They're, I think, not essentially, they are identical, it would appear. I've got one that's really smooth, and this one's feeling a bit notchy actually. I think it just needs to be worn in. I've taken it apart and checked it over a few times for, you know, any parts tree issues or anything like that. Everything looks good. I'm not sure why it's not quite as smooth as this one, but I'm hoping it'll run in and be just fine. Yeah, so got those two gearboxes together. Next we're going to put the motor in, it looks like, or motors. We're a bit further along. I just built the 4 hubs here. And you can't remember where I last was with these, with the gearboxes. Starting to build up to the chassis there. Got both of those. Looking good. Next up is some linkages, and we're getting closer to actually attaching the gearboxes to the patiently waiting chassis over here, which is always a exciting time when you're building a Tamiya model. Alright, I'll check back in. Alright, so we have that linkage hooked up. So this is one servo arm up there that controls both of these guys, like it should. And then we've got another here for the other side. This is the front, I believe, because... no, this is the front. Because on the front, this arm goes this way. On the rear, it goes over there. So far, that's pretty much the only difference between these whole units. Alright, so here are the 2 front and rear gearboxes ready to mount up to the body. These guys are a pain to get on. You have to push this down hard while you're trying to screw it in. We have a chassis with gearboxes attached. This thing is bigger than I expected. It's going to be a pretty big 1/10 scale RC. Very cool. Little trick on these guys to pop these down. Good way to do it, I found, is to take this, something nice and hard, get pressure on both sides, and they go on pretty easily like that. If you just try to push these with your finger or thumb, it's gonna hurt. You'll get through like one before you'll be trying to find another way to do it. Alright, we're getting close. I've got all the electronics hooked up. As you can see, everything's working. It doesn't help that I'm, you know, holding the car up on the axles, but yeah, everything appears to be working as it should. Brake short, reverse. Alright. There's the shocks. Looking good. Shocks weren't bad at all. I love oil-filled shocks, but when you're building, it's nice when you get to the shocks and all you got to do is put them together real quick. And here are a couple of the wheels. These things are monstrous. Very nice. I've already glued them. They've got this kind of powder. I don't know if it's to protect them or from the manufacturing process or what, but never seen that on RC tires. Alright, now this thing is really big looking. I mean, good grief, this thing's awesome. I gotta say, I was not all that excited about this truck, but it was in stock at the local hobby shop. It's been there forever. I almost bought it once before, and now that it's built, or at least, you know, 3/4 built, I'm starting to get excited. Very cool. Oh yeah. paint job. Well, paint job's not done, but it's starting to look very nice. I put all the hardware on the body. Gotta do something about those lights, probably stickers. Yeah, this thing looks nice. Here's my son's Bigfoot, which actually looks rather small in comparison. Alright, so now we've painted the second coat of paint, or the second color. Still have to put the decals on. I screwed up there, but the decal should cover it. It pulled off the paint. I tried it too early, but I think it's salvageable. Alright, here's the Clodbuster. Give me a turn. Turn the wheels for me. Oh, yeah.
So, let's do this. So I set up a jump over there. So we're going to try some jumps. Man, this episode went. Yeah, that was a trick jump. It's a trick. You don't actually jump. That was I missed that jump.
Back it up. There you go. Yeah, see?